We are starting back up again. This is Talkaoke. If you don't know what this is, it's very simple. Just talking to the microphone, this one, about anything you want to talk about. It's kind of up to you where you want to go with this. We've had a few interesting ideas so far. Should we have Dog Shed Festival instead of Deer Shed Festival? We've had a little bit about politics, Boris Johnson, Donald Trump. Why is Donald Trump like he is? We've talked a little bit about climate change and war. So all the usual subjects really for a friendly, fun, family-friendly festival. Come and join in. Come and have a seat around the table of chat. You've got to get in there. 2 minutes. You're free to come and go as you please on Talkaoke. There's no minimum or maximum time, apart from we're leaving at 5 o'clock on Sunday. So anyway, we've got a few people around the table, so let's find out who we've got. My name's Mikey. What's your name?
Ruby.
Oh, hang on. Let me turn you up a little bit. What was it?
Ruby.
And?
Isla.
Isla, yeah.
Oliver.
Oliver?
Fen.
Neve.
Nicola.
Albert.
Welcome, Albert. And as I said, my name's Mikey. Anyone got anything they want to get the ball rolling with? Any thoughts? Thoughts, comments, suggestions, ideas? What's your name?
Liam.
Liam. Anyone got anything they want to start off with? Yeah?
Purple.
Oh no,
Purple.
say the question. What's the happiest colour?
Okay, well, we've got purple so far. Any reactions to purple? Any thoughts about subjects? Oliver?
Brexit.
Brexit? Have you got anything you want to say about Brexit?
No.
Is Brexit purple? Is there any purple element to Brexit? I don't know. Could you? Yeah?
Well, if you mix red and blue, which are two of the colours on the United Kingdom flag,
Yeah.
then you get purple. So.
Okay, so in a way, purple is a mixture of red and blue. So it could be related to Brexit, especially if it's like a sort of lilac-y purple that's maybe got a bit of white in it as well.
Brexit is.
Brexit? Do you know
Have
what
you-
Brexit?
What do you think it is? Have you heard of it on the news?
Okay, well, someone needs to explain it then. Can anyone explain Brexit?
It's where Britain is leaving the EU, which is a
Yeah.
It's like a board of leaders of the country
Okay.
that discuss things, and then Britain's leaving it.
Okay, so there's a board of countries called the EU, and Britain wants to leave that board. Does that make sense? Okay, I'll come back to you. We're talking about Brexit. Any views on Brexit? We're trying to find out at the moment. We're just simply, what is Brexit? Yeah?
What does Brexit stand for? Does it stand for like Britain exit or something?
Yeah, exactly that. Okay, Britain exiting. Okay, we're talking about Brexit at the moment. But okay, so is there anything else we need to know about Brexit that was been missed from this discussion about what Brexit is? Has it kind of been covered?
When's it going to be on?
Yeah.
I don't think they want Britain to be in the EU.
Who doesn't want Britain to be in the EU?
Brexit.
What is Brexit? Who doesn't want Britain to be in the EU?
Britain exit.
Britain doesn't want Britain to be in the EU. Okay, so we're talking about Brexit. We're trying to first of all work out what it is. Yeah.
Why do you have to talk about Brexit?
Yeah, let's talk about something else.
I don't. Well, have you got a better thing to? What do you want to talk about?
I don't know, but something that's not involved
Okay,
with,
well,
like,
if you've got to come up with something else. If we otherwise it's Brexit.
What do you want to talk about?
How about we talk about old people?
Okay, all right. What do you want to say about old people?
You're an old person.
Maybe we could connect old people and Brexit together. Is there any link? Yeah.
I just want to say old people are really cool.
Oh, really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, old people are
Okay.
really cool.
I mean, do you think they get a bad rap? Sometimes?
Yeah, I think old people get a really bad rep, and I just want to say I think old people are really cool.
Okay, old people are really cool. Do people agree?
Yeah.
With yes,
Do you like
yes,
old people,
yeah.
Lee?
Old people.
Do you like old people? Who do you like?
Well, I'm going to ask the question to you.
Granny.
Do you like old people?
Yes, some.
Oh, do you agree? Is it Fen? Do you agree? What's that? Yeah. Do you agree with Fen? They're really cool.
Yeah, I think they're really cool. I think they get a bad rep.
Okay. Why do old people get a bad rep?
Why me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Why do people get a no?
Oh,
a
well,
bad
I'm going
rep?
to pass it along then. Anyone on this side? Old people? Any thoughts on old people?
They're boring.
They're boring. Okay. Okay.
Because they lived in the past.
Okay, they're boring and they live in the past. Okay, so... Okay.
Do we not all live in the past?
Okay. I don't know. Suddenly we've got very philosophical.
They lived when video games weren't.
So we all live in the past. I think... what's your name again?
Remember?
What's that?
Tom.
Tom agrees with you, but old people live further in the past. That's the issue, I think, here. What do you think, old people? Have they got a bad, do they get a bad rap, a bad rep? Come and join in on the table of chat.
Simon, come on.
Is it because they live in the past? But we all live in the past, even young people, but old people live further in the past. That's what we're talking about now.
What do you think?
Are they boring? Are they boring?
Who do you think is old? What age?
Okay, what's that?
54.
50.
50 and over.
Okay, so when do
You're
you...
old when you're past 50.
Okay, yeah, when are you old? Not sure, okay. What would you say, how old is an old person?
I don't know what.
How old is an old person?
I don't know.
Yeah,
50 to 60.
50 or 60, okay.
I'd say from 60 or over.
60 or over, okay, yeah.
About 90.
90, okay. So, 100, okay.
Get to 90.
Yeah,
Keeps growing, I think.
Most people don't get to 90.
do they not? Will we get to that age in the future, do you think? Like, say somebody my age, I'm sort of halfway to 90, will I make it all the way?
It depends if you live a healthy life.
Okay, if I live a healthy life, then maybe. Okay, then.
What was... Give me one...
So we're talking, there's a few things like how old is an old person?
Yeah, how old is an old person? So, like, it's different people, isn't it?
Yeah,
so,
it's
like,
his relative.
yeah.
What about that to you personally?
To me personally, anyone who's older than me is old.
Okay, how old are you?
At 14.
So 15 and over, basically,
Yeah.
is an old person. Okay, yeah,
I disagree with him across the table because,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
what did he say again?
Yeah, basically Tom was saying that not everyone's going to get to the age of 90.
I know, but 90,
Yeah.
the Queen's like 92 or something.
Okay, so the Queen's made it
And
to 92.
she's made it older,
We need to
so.
go.
Yeah, okay,
We need to
well
go
give
in.
us a final
On that
thought.
note, final thought.
Yeah.
I once thought 40 was old, and I'm nearly 40, so now I don't think it is.
Okay, so in a way, back to what you were saying. What is... Oh.
There's obviously better things going on.
Okay, well, we're just a warm-up act, obviously. So have you got a final thought, Tom, before you go?
No.
No, okay. All right, so where do we want to go with this? Maybe we need some, come and sit on the expensive seats. Yeah.
I know how
Yeah.
old people, how they live for their whole life.
Yeah.
They only live until they're 100.
So you think in a way that's the maximum life age is 100? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
you can get 100 plus because I've met somebody over 100.
You've met someone over.
Because I go to a Catholic school,
Yeah.
and I've been one of the people who have actually been to a care home.
Okay, so over 100 you can get. All right. Do you think we will live? We get older. We'll live to older. Come and sit. Come and don't be scared. This has been electrically tested, and plus it's raining. Come. It makes me look more popular if you sit there. It looks like this is scary. It's really important how people see this.
Old people isn't a good topic.
What's
for
that?
us, is it? Old people isn't a good topic for old people.
Well,
you know.
Fen here's saying that old people are really cool.
Oh well, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, thank you.
But some people would say, some people would say that old people are only people over 90. So I don't know,
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
We're not there. No.
Are we kind of obsessed with youth though? Or are we obsessed with young people? Yeah.
Massively obsessed with youth.
Okay. And are you obsessed with youth, you young people?
Sometimes
Yeah.
people can go, oh, some people can live until they're 100, and
Yeah.
some people live until they're over 100.
Right, okay. I mean, do you think you're going to live that long? Yeah, okay. How old do you think you're going to live?
99.
99?
You will all live to over 100.
Do you think so?
Yeah, definitely.
What about you? Do you think you'll live that long?
Probably not. I mean,
90.
We will. I think they will.
Yeah.
Statistically, these guys will live to over 100.
Right, okay.
Definitely.
I mean, will you get bored in that time? What do you think? I mean, is it... No?
Of course you won't. You
No.
will have lots of things to do. You.
Okay. What do you think, Ben? Have you got any views on this?
About, like,
About how long we're all going to live for?
it's a rather morbid question, but
Well, I guess it depends. It depends how you look at it, because
Yeah,
it could be like a fun question as well, depending on how you live your life, I suppose.
it depends, I guess. Life expectancy's gone up, so I suppose we'll probably live longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Even
No, I'm not. I used to be until I did this.
Oh, you
I used to be.
frightened of wasps. You look like you're frightened of wasps because you're watching the wasp.
Anyway, it's not about. This is not about me. My job in the middle is simply to move this microphone around. I sort of feel like we need a new subject because we've kind of done that old bit. Well, but what are we going to talk about? It's kind of up to you. What's that?
Food.
What do you want to say about foods?
It's delicious.
Have you got a particular favourite foods?
Chocolate.
Chocolate, okay. Is there a chocolate tent in this festival?
No. Well, you can get chocolate, but there's my favourite tent that actually has chocolate in it is the Brown and Blondes.
It's what?
Brown and Blondes. It's a tent. It's a
Okay,
tent.
Brown and Blonde. We were next to them actually last year. Okay, so there's a chocolatey tent, if not a fully chocolate tent. Food, what's your favourite foods?
I like Toad and Yule because it's my favourite.
What's it like?
You like what?
And Toad and Yule is
Okay.
a food.
Is
You
there-
can get it at our shops.
Yeah. Can you get it here at this festival?
And I like pizza.
Pizza, okay. What's your favourite foods?
Food.
Food in general, okay. Have you got a favourite food?
100% Christmas dinner.
Christmas dinner?
Yeah.
Okay, what is in a typical Christmas dinner?
Roast potatoes.
Yeah.
Cauliflower cheese.
Yeah,
Broccoli, carrots.
yeah,
Gravy.
okay.
Yeah.
Struggling. I think cheese themed. I'm going with these lot.
Cheese.
You know, pizzas. It's Toad in the Hall. Is that cheese?
Is Toad in the Hole cheese? Is there any cheese in Toad in the Hole?
I can tell you what Toad in the Hole is because he's my brother.
Yeah,
He eats
okay,
it
you're
all
going to
the
speak to your
time.
brother, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on.
It's
Yeah.
basically a huge Yorkshire pudding with loads of little sausages in
Okay,
it.
so it's Yorkshire pudding.
Welsh rarebit. Welsh
Okay.
rarebit's cheese
Okay.
based, isn't it?
Okay, so we're talking about, have you got favourite food, Finn?
no.
No, you don't at all? Are you kind of neutral on food?
Yeah,
Not eat.
Will you
I
eat
do. I don't like some food, but
So it's...
food.
Favourite.
I don't really have a favourite.
You don't have a favourite? Okay, interesting.
Like eating.
I mean, okay, that's interesting. You're kind of neutral on foods, which is an interesting... Have you got a favourite food, and what's your name?
Olive.
What's your favourite food?
Pasta bake.
Okay, and have you got a name?
Oh, I have got a name,
Yeah.
and it's Lorraine.
And have you got favourite foods?
Oh, I've got many favourite foods.
Can you just give us one?
I'd say chocolate.
Chocolate, okay. Name and favourite food if you've got one.
Spaghetti bolognese.
We've got pasta, but how about that? It's right there. It's right there. I mean, that's interesting. I mean, maybe we can move on to this as well. Say something and it appears. Chocolate, chocolate. You know what? I'm going to say it. Our favourite food here on the table is chocolate, and we especially like, what's it called? Brown and blondes. Brown and... The other day I was in a festival. I was in a festival in Lancashire, and I was talking about pizzas, and then I got a pizza. So it does work. It doesn't...
What was it? Which festival was it?
It's called Nelson Festival of Culture. And I got a...
So, you
Yeah.
know Paul Hartley?
Yes, I do, yes.
Yeah, he does this Talkaoke.
Yeah.
I know Paul Hartley
Yes,
too.
yeah. He was supposed to be doing the festival. But anyway, let's get on to more general topics like favourite foods. But And also this idea of say it and it shall appear. Do people agree with this idea? Yes. Olive's just said. Yes. Olive's just said pasta bake, and it's just appeared. You've just said cider, and as a man appears with a tin of cider.
Yeah, sharing.
It's a gift to us.
Yeah. So it's amazing how it works. As you say something, it appears. I mean, is that the power of positive thinking?
No, it's not.
You don't agree with that? Okay. I mean, okay. Well, if you're going to say something and it did appear, what would you say? Maybe we should just go around and we'll just get a selection and see if any of the things that we say do actually appear. If that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. What are you going to say?
A bit of peace, you know.
Peace. Okay.
Equality, that kind of thing.
Well, we're probably going to get a lightning strike, which is going to cut off the electricity, and then we'll get some peace. What would you like to say to appear?
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger. Okay, we'll try it. Cheeseburger. Maybe in fact everyone else can say it. So if we all say it, maybe there'll be more chance of it. So can everyone please say cheeseburger?
Cheeseburger.
Okay, so we didn't do it for peace, but we're okay. We'll do it again. What would you like?
What have you got?
Just say it again. Sunshine. Okay, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Sunshine. No, one at a time. One at a time. Okay, I'm going to go around. What would you like to appear?
A brown and blonde stall right over there.
Okay. So everyone says brown and blonde.
Brown and blonde.
Well, this is an experiment in positive thinking. Okay, what would you...
Ice cream.
Okay, we're going to see if any of these things appear.
I'm gonna just go ice cream. Ice cream.
Okay, and once again, ice cream. Okay, ice cream, but isn't it a bit wet for ice cream? I don't know. Anyway, what would you like to appear?
Pizza.
Pizza, everybody? Come on then. What's happened to the crowd participation here? It's rubbish. Okay, we're never gonna get any of these things. What would you like to appear?
Sunshine.
Sunshine, everybody? What would you like to appear?
More of that.
Okay, more pasta bake. Can we say it?
Pasta bake.
Is that not enough? Not enough. Okay. What would you like to appear?
A sausage butty.
Okay, everybody. Sausage butty. Okay.
Dignity.
Dignity. Okay. You got no. So I don't think that's going to happen. What would you like to appear?
No rain.
No rain. Okay.
No rain.
But no. But the thing is, if everyone says no rain, it might come out as rain. If you see what I mean, because like. So,
two negatives equals positive.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, this is the question. This is the question. We're talking about the power of positive thinking. So, do people believe in this power of positive thinking? It worked for Olive and her pasta bake. Now she wants more. Will you get your dignity?
No, I don't think I will get my dignity.
You don't think you get it? Okay.
More of a personal challenge, though.
What do other people think? Do they believe in the power of positive thinking? Yeah.
Yes, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, if we all say sunshine, will we get sunshine?
No.
Yes.
Okay. So no.
I say give it half an hour. Give it half an hour. Come on.
Okay. I mean, what other people do you believe in the power of positive thinking?
No.
You don't. Why?
Yes, I do.
You do then? Okay, change your minds. Peer pressure. Okay, we're talking about the power of positive thinking. If you say it enough, will you get it?
Yeah.
It's worked for Olive and her pasta bake, and it worked. What's your name again?
Karen.
It's worked for Karen, and she didn't get cider, but someone appeared with cider. Yeah, it was close. You were close. So does it actually work? When you say stuff and you believe it, will you actually get it?
My husband in.
Really?
He's a full-on believer in this.
Okay, grab the mic. If you want to, yeah.
Positive
That's the wrong
attraction.
place to be.
He loves it. He loves
Can you explain to me? You're too far away there.
Well, I don't know. No, I can't explain it. I'll have to get him in.
Okay, so you're saying it's actually scientifically true?
He would say it that it is.
Okay.
And he knows it. He knows everything.
Is he a scientist?
Of sorts.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what's your name?
My name.
Yeah.
Paula.
So Paul, because we can't. One of the things about talking, you can't bring in people and if they don't want to come. So I can't mention. But if he wants to come, that's great. So Paula's husband is saying that is that is he your husband? Is that right? Yeah. It's saying that positive thinking does actually scientifically work.
Call it the power of attraction.
Okay, so power of attraction.
If that's true, we can get him here without.
Yeah. Okay.
What's it called?
It's called Darren.
Darren.
Okay, so if everyone says Darren, Darren, please come to Talkaoke. Darren, we want you, but I don't think everybody wants him to come.
If we're talking about purely from a scientific point of view, if we think about one of the most basic scientific methods that with some set of time, does it sound real? No, so it's not real.
Okay, so you would say scientifically, if it doesn't sound real, it's not real. Okay, what do people think? Is the power of positive thinking real? Come and sit down on the table. Come on, give him a round of applause. Come on. Oh, we've got somebody over here. We're talking about the power of positive thinking. Is it a real thing? Is it scientific? Paula's husband, Darren or Daryl, says yes. Was it?
Daz.
Yeah. Do you believe in it as well? What about the?
I think I do believe it in like non-scientific sense, but also a scientific one in terms of positive psychology. You know, you can make
so it
things happen.
could be scientific.
No, it's not.
You don't believe in it?
No, absolutely not. You can't just think about something and make it suddenly appear. No, you can't. Absolutely not.
It worked for Olive and her pasta bake.
That was coincidental. The power of positive thinking is great if you're talking like personal well-being and it makes yourself feel better, but on a physical level, absolutely not.
Okay.
Talk about thinking about making £1 million appear. I'm thinking about making £1 million appear and it's not appeared.
No, but...
Okay. Is it scientific? Yeah, okay. Paula, please come and sit. I can't keep reaching over.
My view would be, if you think it's possible, you would put yourself forward for things and open up opportunities. You would open up opportunities that you might not if you weren't positive about it.
Okay, so you're more open to the opportunity if you're thinking positively about it. And that's like, what are you saying?
But that's not getting it, that's just thinking you can do it.
Okay.
That's positive well-being, and that's if you think about something, you understand the route that it takes to get that, and then you take positive steps to get to where your goal is, that's absolutely fine. You can't just sit here and say cheeseburgers and expect a cheeseburger. I might sit here and think cheeseburger, I know where there's a van selling them, I will positively go and get one.
Yeah.
It's not expecting it to appear, it's believing in that. It's real,
so it's a
someone
belief.
will get you one because you want one.
Okay, I mean, all right, is there a halfway house where it's about, as Paula was saying, about creating the opportunities? If you don't believe it, if you never believe in cheeseburger, then you're cutting yourself off to cheeseburger. It's basically what you're saying.
I think you have to put the work in. You can't just expect a cheeseburger to appear in that second. It's a process of like thinking in that way over a matter of time. We've all got cells, we've all got energy, everything's connected. It's all just going to come back at you.
So what you're saying is that the positive thinking does work, but you've got to do work as well.
Yeah, you can't just go, I want a cheeseburger and it's going to appear. You've got to put it out there.
What's your name, sorry?
Carla.
So Carla's saying positive thinking is part of the equation. You still need to go and get the cheeseburger. You do. But do you agree with that, at least that much?
Yeah, because you've got your current state is where you are now. Your desired state is where you need to be. What you need to do is understand the steps you need to take to get from your current state to your desired state. Right. You can't just sit in your current state expecting everything to happen to get you to where that needs to be without you doing anything. And with scientifically proven, Dylan has sat here thinking of cheese, he's just told me. There's no cheese.
Okay. Are you thinking hard enough about cheese?
No,
okay. Do you really want cheese?
No, someone's got a bit of cheese in the bag out there.
Okay. No, so, well, then maybe that's what it is. We're talking about the power of, what's this?
About what?
What would you like to appear?
A tablet.
A tablet?
Not the kind that you eat. The kind.
There we go. Okay, apparent.
What's that? Positive thinking. Did somebody want Darren to appear and then Darren appeared?
Yeah. So we're talking about the power of positive thinking. It all started with Olive because she said that she really liked pasta bake. It's her favourite thing, and then pasta bake appeared, and then Karen was saying I really like a cider, and then this man appeared with a cider, although he didn't get any cider, but So we're talking about this power of positive thinking. Is there something in it? I mean, Carla's saying it's part of the equation. You need to actually sometimes go and get the cheeseburger there, or whatever you want. But this part is, what's that?
Put stuff out there, like help people, be kind. It all comes back.
Okay, so but part of it is positive thinking. Then this is what we're investigating here, and you're saying that what are you saying, that you need to actually take action to
Yeah, absolutely. You need to understand the steps that you need to take to get from where you are now to where you need to be. It's not just karma, it's not positive thinking, it's not just being nice and kind. It's saying, well, actually, if I want to be a doctor, you know what, I better start going to university, start going to college and start educating myself, because that's what it takes to get there. I can't just sit here going, let me be a doctor, and someone's going to say, oh, there you go, there's a doctorate.
Yeah. Okay, you were saying it's unscientific as well, weren't you?
Yes. If we do a scientific test, if I want this can to be refilled and I think hard enough about it, it's not going to be refilled. So there you go.
Okay. Does anyone want to subscribe to this argument enough to refill this person's can, and just to prove a point?
Are we just talking about this life, or if you want to? If you want to be a doctor, maybe if it will be in subsequent lives, 3 or 4 lives later, that you achieve that.
Maybe. Okay, so will it happen in the next life? We're talking about positive thinking. How important is it to think positively? Is it unscientific? Is it scientific?
If you think I never win,
yeah,
that's negative thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, so you don't take risks.
Yeah.
So that's negative thinking. So if you think I always win,
yeah,
you're more likely to take a risk, and then that will become true, won't it? I always win. So, because if you think, well, I'll take a chance, I might win, and you do. If you never take the risk, you can't win.
So what's this?
It's the law of attraction.
Grab the mic. What's this law of attraction?
Well, the law of attraction is believing it and attracting it. Is it as simple as that?
But so you say you just need to believe it and then you attract it?
Definitely.
Is there any science behind this? Because this is, what's your name again? Eric's saying it's not scientific.
Science don't come into it, no.
Okay, so it's not about science, it's just a thing. What do people think?
Everything that's said can be proven by science.
Okay.
Not true. Not true.
Does it need to be scientific? Let's open this out to some other people.
This does not prove everything.
Yeah.
So I can think of psychiatric treatments that have no science backing. For example, ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. There's no theory behind that. Well, some people argue that it does. I'm not saying it does, but some people would argue that it does, and it's used in a scientific way without the scientific backing.
Okay, so some things are used in medicine that are not scientifically proven.
Yes.
Such as electric shock therapy. Yeah. So not everything's scientific then?
Well, you've just said that it's not like scientifically backed, so then it's not scientific.
Yeah. I mean, where do you stand on this positive thinking?
But no.
You don't agree with it?
I don't think it's right, but just believe what you want to believe.
Okay, you can believe what you want to believe, but will it help you to believe that good things are going to happen to you? Or if you wanted to become a doctor, is it helpful to believe you're going to become a doctor?
I don't think only believing that you're going to become a doctor will instantly make you a doctor, but if you don't believe that you're going to be a doctor, are you going to take the steps in order to make yourself a doctor?
So it's part of the equation.
Positive psychology.
Yeah. Okay, so it is there. I mean, surely. There we go. Thank you. There we go. So, I mean, where do we want to go with this conversation? Are we thinking positively enough?
Yeah.
You think yes?
Yeah.
Pizza.
Okay, pizza. It's going to happen. It's not working.
It's not because the queue's too big.
Okay. It's because we're not close enough to the pizza van this time. Okay.
That's positive.
My rucksack!
Have you really?
Yeah.
There we go. Fantastic. Where's your rucksack? Okay. Okay. So pizza's coming. How about that? So I mean, is positives? How big a part of the equation is positive psychology?
So I think positive thinking and positive psychology is necessary to to give you the motivation to then take action to get what you want.
Right. Okay. I mean, but do you think you're saying? Is it Darren?
Darren, yeah.
You say it's more than that? Is it?
Yeah, it's definitely more than that. Yeah, it's the law of attraction.
So, can I explain this a bit more? What's this law?
The law is The positive side, right, is important, but the law is crucial.
But what is the law? What is the law?
The law,
yeah,
is way beyond positive thinking.
Yeah. What is it then?
It's the whole thing.
Trusting in. Okay, well maybe Carla's got more of an expert trusting in the process.
Just trusting in the process, just putting it out there and trusting in something bigger, whatever that might be.
What are you actually trusting in?
Well, everyone's got a different opinion on that, haven't they? Of what, if you're not religious, it's maybe just trusting in the universe, the fact that we're all connected, the fact that we're connected to everything living.
Okay, so you've got to trust in the universe. Do people subscribe to this? Do you trust the universe? No. You say no, you don't trust
No, trust it for what? I don't trust the universe to do what? To give me what I need? What? Air, pretty much, right? It's not going to give me food unless I start foraging. I've got a job, but that's because I worked hard to get my job. No, the universe isn't just going to give you what you want.
Okay.
Tell that to all the homeless people on the street, or all the millions and millions of desolate people around the world. They might have trusted in the universe, they've not got anywhere.
Okay, so what about all the poor and destitute people around the world? Is it just because they're not thinking positively enough that they are in that situation?
Thinking positively, are they?
So what you're saying is, if you're on the street, it's hard to think positively.
Yeah.
So is that what, in a way, part of a kind of cycle then?
I'm just proving myself wrong.
No, you're doing well.
Okay, I mean, what do people think? So in a way, if you're in a negative situation, you're going to think negatively, which is kind of the point you're making. So does that mean that
positive thinking is going to be effective just because someone that's in a negative situation is thinking negatively? If they suddenly start thinking positively, if they just think positively but don't take any action, then they're not going to change their situation. But if they think positively and that drives positive actions from that individual to take a change, then perhaps they might actually do it.
Okay, so action. Likelihood, okay.
What about these guys? These have got lots to say.
Okay, what do you think positive? How important is positive thinking? That's what we're talking about. Is it just a tiny bit of the equation? Is it about some kind of law? I don't really understand this law of attraction.
Paula always says, right, I'm due a windfall. Right, because she believes that she's due a windfall.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? But then she gets a windfall.
What do you mean by this?
Well, that's not positive thinking, is it?
Okay, so positive. How important is positive? Let's go around and see how positive people are thinking. Grab the mic. What's that?
Positive thing makes you more motivated.
So do you agree with this talk about positive thinking? You think it is part of definitely part of a cycle?
Yeah.
And what do you think positively about?
Family and good things in life.
Okay, so good things are going to happen to you and your family?
Yeah.
And what about this question about wanting to be a doctor? Do you think is it important to think positively about what you want to be?
Well, you can do like one good thing and that could like affect other people in a good way as well.
Okay, so the positive thinking affects other people as well. Was he going to say something on it? Yeah.
Let's talk about after the arena bombing in Manchester.
Right. Okay.
Right. So everyone was thinking positively after that. You know, there was taxi drivers giving giving free rides home, things like that.
Yeah.
And that had an effect on people. It didn't stop further attacks, but people felt more motivated to help us people because of it.
Okay, so you had a very horrible thing that happens with the Manchester arena bombing, but that actually led people to be positive and to give each other free rides and to be nice to each other, and that's had a knock-on positive effect. Do people agree with that?
Yeah. What if?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Go on.
What if you've not been sick for a while, and then you think you're going to be sick after like a year or two, and then you're sick on that day?
Okay, so what about if you think you're going to be sick, are you more likely to get sick? What's your name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It happened today. You were talking about being sick this morning, you and Max was sick in the car.
Okay.
And I said if you hadn't have talked about it, it would never.
Okay, I mean talk is a dangerous thing. If you talk negative.
That's more of you. He pointed it out, so therefore you're noticing it. Because say if you mention it every other day, and then up until the day when it does happen, then you're just noticing the blink. It's nothing
okay,
special.
so you think it could be just coincidence?
Yes.
You're actually talking about it all the time, but from the day that it happens that you notice it. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna come. Hang on. Let me come to.
If you feel like you're gonna be sick, and you're gonna be sick, that's got nothing to do with thinking about you're gonna be sick, and that makes you sick.
Do you think it might be down to the dodgy pasta bake? Do you think that's what it? Okay.
So if I worry about having an hangover, I'm guaranteed an hangover. I'm guaranteed an hangover.
I mean, could you go the other way? Could you say I'm not going to get a hangover and then don't get one?
Because if I'm thinking I'm going to be sick and I think I'm not going to be sick, then that doesn't stop me from being sick. So how does it work the other way?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Psychosomatic illnesses are the real things, absolutely, because your mental state and your physical state are really connected to each other. So you can, like, if you get stressed, that'll create other illnesses. So that's absolutely valid, but it's completely different to positive thinking, creating positive things when you're sat in your ass and just thinking about good stuff.
How is it different?
Because you can't imagine things or think about things and make them happen without taking action. Positive thinking is essential to drive your motivation to do things.
But it's got to come hand in hand with action. It's your point, yeah. Hang on a sec, Tom. I'm just going to come to. Have you got something? Okay, later, Tom.
If you feel that you're going to be sick, it's more likely that you're going to be sick if you feel like you're...
Yeah, but say, Tom, you're feeling sick and you think to yourself, I'm not going to be sick, I'm not going to be sick, I'm not going to be sick. Will that stop you from being, I'm feeling well, I'm feeling happy?
It will make you less likely to be sick.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting, okay. So, okay, yep.
I just wanted to point out that I think we're neglecting the power of negative thinking.
The power of negative... Okay, say a bit more about that.
Well, I mean, in the same way that positive thinking can make things happen, negative thinking can also solve problems. So if you're expecting things to go wrong, you can spot things that would stop them from happening.
Okay, so you're more likely to say, if you think an accident's going to happen, you're more likely to drive carefully. For example.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it is also a very important part of the scientific method. So when you're doing science, you've got to spot things which like are giving you the answer you think you ought to get, but for the wrong reason.
Okay.
That's not negative thinking.
Okay. Hang on a sec. Let me give you the mic, but I'm going to come to this person's got their hand up first. What are you going to say?
One time I felt sick, but I didn't be sick.
Okay. Is that because of negative and positive thinking?
Did you think I'm not going to be sick?
Did you think I'm not going to be sick, or do you think I am going to be sick?
No.
Okay. So what were you going to say?
I can't remember. Yeah, no, so negative thinking. So the example that the gentleman gave, I don't think that's negative thinking. It's not thinking negatively that negative things will happen. It's more positively thinking about the broad spectrum of events that might happen. So you're not putting a negative slant on it. It's not like you've got depression and think, oh, bad things are going to happen. You're just scientifically looking at negative events. But I don't think that's the same as negative thinking.
Are you thinking about things going wrong? Is it negative thinking? Is there a law of repulsion just as much as there is a law of retraction?
Going to the Alps on a ski holiday.
Yeah.
And I'm just wearing this t-shirt and shorts. If I think that I'm not going to get pneumonia, I'm still going to get pneumonia. Thinking that I'm not might drive me to then put some warmer clothes on, but it's not going to stop me.
Okay, so it's actually a fear of being cold can lead you to take positive action. So sometimes if we think negatively, we can deal with some possible negative consequences that come. But what's your name again?
Stu.
Stu is saying that's not necessarily negative thinking about negative things that might happen.
It's subversive. He's just saying that to be subversive. I know him well.
But is subversion itself a positive thing?
Enjoy. Subversion.
Subversion or perversion? Karen, final thought before you go.
Pizza's arrived. Enjoy the festival.
And who was thinking sunshine? Because now that's actually happened. So that's the more positive thinking. Okay, so, yeah.
I want it to rain again.
Okay. Yeah.
I want it to rain a bit.
I want it to rain again so then we can stay in here for loads.
Okay, we can stay in here forever. We're here all day, so don't worry about that. Okay, so where do we want to take this conversation? Negative, positive thinking. Is it scientific? Are you a scientist?
No, but I was trained as a scientist.
Okay, you were trained as a scientist. But you're not a scientist anymore.
I'm a scientist.
Okay. I mean, what do you think about this positive negative thinking? Is it scientific?
I agree with everything he says.
Yes, Stu. I want a final thought from you, Stu, before you go.
But I'd also add, it's really, like, imagine if someone's fallen on hard times and they're given the impression it's their fault because they weren't thinking positively enough. That's a bit mean, isn't it?
Okay. All right, so it can be a way, this positive negative thinking of blaming people for being in unfortunate circumstances. And is it really their fault? Okay.
I think negative and positive thinking both drive actions. I think it's essential. If you want to succeed, you have to think positively in order to do that, in order to take the right steps to get where you need to be. And on the counter side, if you think negatively, you're just going to sit there and you're not going to do anything because you're presuming you're not going to get anywhere. So I think positive, you've got to see positively and presume that you're going to do well and take the right steps. And now I've got to take it for a peek.
Okay, some more positive thinking. So we got some,
Well, is it positive thinking that makes you develop something? Because scientists don't know everything about the human body because human body is developing still. So maybe it's like some kind of other energy that includes positive thinking.
Yeah. Is it something that scientists just don't know about yet? We've got scientists here. Come and have a seat, because I don't have to keep reaching up to you. We've got some spare seats. Have you got a final thought, Carla?
I need pizza.
Okay, is that positive or negative thinking? We need some people to fill these seats. Okay, well, give us a final thought before you go.
I'll give you a final, I know your brother, David. I'm going to come and talk to you later.
Okay. Is that positive thinking? I don't know if it's a negative. Yeah. Well, positive. We've got a new face at the table. Maybe we can quickly do a round of names, but let's just get your point. You had a point. What's your point?
So if something you think is negative, and you could try and do something to help it, so that you don't think it so much more, and then it might help.
Okay, so it's about sometimes thinking positively about the negative thing, thinking you can do something.
Thinking bad thoughts, and you say to yourself, I don't want to think bad thoughts anymore, I want to think good thoughts. You will think good thoughts.
Okay, so we're talking about this, in a way we're still on the positive negative thinking vibe, but it's got a bit more complex. It's about now thinking about how to solve the problems, I suppose, and thinking that you can solve the problems rather than you can't solve the problems. We've lost the scientists, so we don't know how. Oh, you're a scientist, okay? Yeah, but the real scientists, you know.
I just wasted 2 years on science A levels. I just wasted 2 years on science A levels. So
do you think it's a waste now that you've listened to this conversation?
No, I think it's wasted because I don't know what I'm going to do with them.
Okay, so why is science a waste of time?
What? No, I'm saying A levels were a waste of time.
Why? Okay, A levels. Okay.
Very specifically, my A levels, the ones that I did.
Yeah. Which ones did you do? What ones did you do?
Maths, further maths, chemistry, physics.
Okay.
Further maths was a waste of time.
Okay, so I mean, well, this is an interesting thing. Maybe we could bring this out to education, the power of positive education. Okay, maybe we should also get around on names. We've got new people at the table. We've got 2 spare seats. What's your name?
Is this being recorded?
Yes.
Hunter.
What's it?
What's
Hunter.
your real name? Tom.
You can be whoever you want to be on Talkaoke.
Bella.
What's it?
Bella.
Yeah. Eric. Yeah. What's your name?
Paula.
What's your name?
Bartholomew II.
Well, yeah.
His name's Frank.
Yeah. What's your name?
Finn.
And
Finn. Finn.
Finn and Finn.
Jessica.
Yeah.
Olive.
Olive or Oliver?
Olive.
Olive. Okay. And did we get your name? We didn't.
Dylan.
Dylan. Okay, now Mikey, I guess we're sort of talking about, there's a thing here that Hunter's thrown in about education. Is education a waste of time? Does it help you think? Does it help you think positively? Is it is science education lacking when it comes to A level? There's so many different topics.
You wouldn't be as clever as you are if you did go to
You're talking about me? Or in general?
In general.
In general, not necessarily me, but if you didn't go to school, you wouldn't be clever. Did people agree with that? Is school, what do people think about school? Is it a good way of being clever?
It's all like what you do, pretty much, so not really about school. So let's say you're not in school, but you educate yourself. Like It's just about the education, not about the location.
It's about the education, not the location.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you're at school, it's what you do, not
okay. What you mean what you do with the knowledge, in a way?
It means that you could educate yourself at home. You don't have to go to school to become educated. That you could do that anyway. I think that's what you're saying, is it?
Is it? Okay. What do other people think on this side? Do you kind of regret going to school? Do you wish you'd done it yourself?
Oh, no, I didn't regret. I'm just making a joke there.
Okay, so you're being sarcastic about that?
Am I not allowed to be sarcastic?
Yeah. Okay. So you regret going to school?
What? Yeah, sarcasm. See?
Okay. So all right. So do other people regret going to school? Does everyone? Yeah.
If you didn't go to school, you wouldn't have a good job, and then you wouldn't be as smart as you are.
Okay. So there's good jobs, there's smartness.
If you had a question in your mind for a really long time, with for example maths, and then if you went to school, you'd be able to ask like what the answer is, and then you'd be able to know, and you'd be able to remember it, and when people ask you that question, you remember to say it.
Okay, so school's really good at finding out the answers to stuff. Yeah. I'm going to come to you in a second, Dylan.
If you had a Spanish teacher
Yeah. Have you got a Spanish teacher?
Yeah, I had one.
Yeah.
And if you didn't go to school with the Spanish teacher, you couldn't know Spanish.
Okay, so school seems to be great for knowing stuff.
You don't have to go to school to be educators, because you could be home educated.
Okay. But would you learn such a diverse thing like Spanish and maths? Could you do that? Learn that at home? What's this? Come and sit. You've got a spare. Darren, come and sit on the. What do you mean? Do you learn common sense at school?
No, you don't learn common sense at school.
Right. Okay. Can you teach common sense at school? Is it?
You could try. You could try, and I've tried.
Okay. All right. So common sense can't be taught at school.
You can go to school and still not be very clever. It depends on how hard you try and how intelligent you are to begin with.
Okay. So school doesn't necessarily make you clever. You just get kind of stuff.
That's what cleverness is.
Okay. Well, what is it for you?
I don't know.
Okay.
Cleverness.
I mean,
I would think of it in the academic sense, but it's not all that. Like Darren said, common sense is very different to that.
Do people?
I
think a high school education is 90% there just to demonstrate to other people that you weren't a layabout and you've managed to get yourself to some level of an educated state.
So
you don't need to apply.
Yeah.
So I think the things that you learn at high school, you're not learning them to then apply them in future life necessarily. You're learning them to demonstrate to other people that you've got to that level, which is the whole point of having your results, and then you demonstrate your results.
You can learn anything really.
If you learn that to a high level, I think when you go on to A levels it's different, because then you're more specifically learning things that you hopefully will learn in a future life, but then so many people do A levels just to realise what they don't want to do for the rest of their lives. But
okay, so sometimes you can do an A level just so that you know that you're not interested in a subject. Yep.
You could get like an A+ equivalent and end up working in a warehouse.
Okay. You can get, I guess that's a good mark, an A+, and work in the warehouse.
Find out what you're good at.
Yeah. What are you good at? Tom?
I don't know.
You don't know yet. You're going to find out though, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about, I mean, there's a suggestion here from Darren and from other people that you're clever to start off with, and school just demonstrates that you're clever. Do people agree?
Clever's just a concept. Clever doesn't mean anything. It's like everyone is good at something, and who is anyone to say that someone isn't clever?
So in a way, everybody's clever because everyone's good at something.
Everyone's individual, but the whole concept of clever, I just think is just not reasonable.
I'm thinking school might not
I'm going to say someone with a hand up next to you.
Go on,
I'm not good at topic, but Poppy's good at topic, and she's not that good at maths, but I'm good at maths.
Okay, so does that show that people are clever at different things?
Yeah.
Okay, so people are clever at different things. Hello. So we're talking about school. Does school make you clever, or are you clever to start off with? Is cleverness, Stu's saying cleverness isn't even a thing anyway. So that's where we are right now. Is everyone good at something? And school is just there to demonstrate that you can learn? I'm going to come. What's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica, yeah. Jessica,
There's this person in my class called Leonardo, and before he came to my class, he was at homeschool, and when he learns, he kind of struggles to get the answers to things.
Yeah. Is that because he went to school at home, you think?
Well, no, I don't really think so, but I'm not exactly entirely sure.
Okay. I mean, do you think he's clever anyway?
He's a clever boy.
Yeah, kind of.
He's clever, maybe clever. We're talking about is there even such a thing as clever?
If you ask somebody what does clever mean, most people wouldn't know what to say.
Okay, well, do you know what to say?
No.
Okay, can anyone say what clever is? Okay, yeah.
Someone who's intelligent and has the ability to read and analyse new questions. Someone, for example, a high IQ, someone who can analyse different situations, someone who's capable of doing things.
Okay, someone who can analyse a situation. Did you ever get your hand up there?
Yeah, I think it's just someone who's like dedicated. It's like someone can be clever at not one thing, but let's say it's one thing, and it will be that one thing regardless of all other things.
So it's kind of, there's a sense of dedication there, that you're dedicated to a subject.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay. We're talking about clever. Does clever really mean actually just being dedicated to a subject?
No.
No. What's that?
No, I think it's more about ability.
So would you say that a scientist is clever?
Depends.
So a lot of people would, but can a scientist build a house?
It's socially constructed, isn't it? The concept of
so is
cleverness.
a scientist more clever than a builder?
Okay, is a scientist
is more clever at building, but scientist is clever at science.
Well done, yeah.
And a sociologist is clever at social construction. Anyway, so we're talking about dedicated. Come and have a seat. Come forward. Come forward. Don't be sad. I've cleaned this table. I've waxed it. You can do it. We're talking about what is clever. Is clever even a thing? Is everyone clever at something?
If you believe you're clever, then you're probably not.
What happened to the power of positive thinking?
When people get stuck, you can't exactly tell them that they're not clever, because that would basically be quite mean.
Okay, so if someone gets stuck on a problem, you don't tell them that they're not clever.
Everybody is clever at something.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so do people believe that? Is that a general belief? Is everybody clever at something?
Yeah.
Okay. What about, without wanting to kind of throw what about Donald Trump? Because we had a lot about. Is he clever at something? Is he clever at something?
Yes, he's good at business.
Yeah.
If anyone says he's not clever, he's good at business because he managed to get in.
Okay, so he's clever.
He's clever at something because he's clever at being stupid.
Okay, I don't want to go back to. I wish I had never brought up Donald Trump now. And I was saying to Ruby, Donald Trump. And now look, I brought it up myself, which is like all the wrong.
Fake talent being an umpa-lumpa.
Okay.
Clever at manipulating people.
Okay.
It manipulates voters, doesn't it?
So everyone's clever at something, basically. Ben, what were you going to say?
I was going to agree with the business thing, really.
Yeah.
He's a good businessman. He was a good businessman, I suppose.
Okay, so everyone's clever at something. So I mean, what's the point of the word clever? Is it? Yeah.
Maybe we're using clever in too general a sense. Maybe it should be very specifically defined to be good at, say, academic subjects such as computer science, maths, and I don't know, chemistry and stuff. And you can use different words to specifically say when people are good at, say, art. So of course it would be good at it. Yeah, I'm saying that we're using it way too generally, and we should define it to be more specific because we're just tripping over ourselves at this point.
Okay. Are we tripping, Anna?
Just because someone's less good at something that you're good at, doesn't mean that they're like less clever than you.
I mean, is everybody equally clever if you kind of add up all the different things that they're clever at?
Maybe, but we haven't done that yet, so we don't know.
That would be quite tedious as well, and that would make a bad show, I think, just adding up what everyone's clever. But I mean, come and have a seat on the table. We're talking about, is everybody equally clever? They're just clever at different stuff? Is clever even a worthwhile word because it's too general?
Somebody could be like clever at something like
maths and somebody else could be clever at them than it, like science.
Okay. What about?
It's clever an academic concept.
Okay,
Discuss.
well, I'm going to turn the mirror on you. What do you think, Stu?
I think it is, from the conversation that we're having, it very much the idea of cleverness sort of indicates sort of more academic stuff.
Good at academic subjects.
Good at academic subjects, retaining lots of knowledge and information, but that's very specific types of knowledge and information rather than sort of like, again, going back to building a house or putting a... But then there's differences in that, because an engineer that can build a huge bridge is clever,
but he may
in a very different way. But
what's this?
Like you could have book smarts but not street smarts. Like you could be so good at building a bridge.
What is street smart?
Just not being a fool, you know?
Okay.
That's another type of clever. It's the common sense. It's the common sense part of it that I feel is more important than the road.
Can you teach street smart? Can you actually? Is it something that can be taught? Is it something?
Common sense is not very common.
Common sense is not common, you're saying. Okay, what do people think? Can common sense be taught? Darren's saying no. You're not sure about it. Could it be something that does clever just mean good at academic stuff? Book smart, as you said. With
I'm not saying that clever does mean that. I'm just saying that it could.
Okay. All right.
Those A-levels weren't wasted, Hunter.
The A-levels weren't wasted. Okay, Fen, have you got a final thought if you're off?
There are two genders.
Oh, we're back on that subject. Well, we can't really. Yeah, I mean, if we were maybe here a bit, if Fen was here a bit longer, we could maybe go down that route. But I think that we call that hit and run, really. Okay, so where do we want to go with this topic?
Isn't common sense something you develop through your experiences?
Right.
And part of your social experience is going to school and learning, therefore interacting with other people helps you to develop common sense through experience, not through being taught it, if you see what I mean.
So in a way, they're kind of out of hours things like the playground, you learn common sense.
Yeah. And trial and error.
To throw it completely personal, my husband's brother and sister are just nonsensical. They were brought up in the same home, they were treated the same by their family, and his older brother and his older sister are just fools sometimes, and I feel Stu's has a lot of common sense. So they had the same experience.
And everyone
They're Egypts.
So you get Egypts. Is common sense like a kind of given thing, rather than something you learn? Is it just a given?
It's something that you learn, but it can't be taught.
Right. Okay. You can learn it, but you can't teach it.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. We're talking about common sense. Can common sense not be taught?
It can't be taught, but you learn it by developing it.
Okay, so it's just experience, yeah?
It can't really be taught because, like, if someone's had no idea what common sense is and then someone just said, use your common sense, you'd be like, what? What are you talking about?
Okay, so sometimes people say use your common sense. That doesn't really help. Because what do they even mean? Anna? You had your hand up.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't? Okay. Guy, have you got any views on this?
A professor in the psychology department that I used to be in did a study that showed that common sense is wrong 50% of the time.
Okay, so are you saying that common sense is not even a thing?
I think common sense is not a very useful concept.
Okay, so do you think that we've heard too much of a kind of? You think common sense has kind of been promoted more than maybe it should be?
Yeah. And overvalued as an idea.
Okay. How did you do the test? What was the test? How did it work?
Well, I think it's too difficult to get into.
Too difficult to explain. Okay. For us common sense people. Okay, so is common sense even a thing? You're a psychologist.
Former
psychologist. Says Guy, the former psychologist. Is it even a thing? And a complicated test that's too complicated to explain to us showed that common sense was only right 50% of the time.
What defines a psychologist? Because I could say I'm a psychologist.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure it's qualification. It's qualification.
Okay.
That one's way easy to
Okay.
Yeah, I really think you need a piece of paper. Yeah, because you're not allowed.
Do you need a piece of paper to be a psychologist? How do you get to call yourself a psychologist?
Get a piece of paper and say, I'm a psychologist.
Okay, would you want to do that? Would you want to do that? Okay. Okay, so how do you get to be a psychologist?
You study psychology.
Is that enough? Is that enough to be a psychologist?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. When you say that common sense is wrong 50% of the time, how can you quantify that? How could you possibly have got to that?
Yeah, okay.
So you establish what a commonly held answer to a common sense question is.
Can you give us an example, just one example of common sense?
Well, common sense would have been previously that the Earth is flat.
Right.
You know, if you went up to people a few hundred years ago and asked was the Earth round or flat, common sense would have been that it's flat.
Right.
It was wrong. We have similar ideas about regular items of everyday life all the time.
Can you give us a more current example, or is it more tricky?
Yeah, I can't because I'm a long time out of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, well, back in.
Is that not common knowledge? Like what we were kind of talking about was common sense, as in don't put your hand in the toaster and don't walk out in the road, whereas common knowledge is there's a certain portion of we went back to it, Trump supporters who believe that climate change isn't happening. There's a certain portion of people who are right who feel that climate change is happening, so their common knowledge is that isn't happening, whereas other people's is that it is. So it's not really common sense.
Common sense is more about having a social awareness, having an awareness for yourself, an awareness for self-protection.
Okay.
Not doing
so we're talking. Hang on a sec, Hunter. Let's just get this conversation. There's one conversation. What were you saying?
No one actually believed the Earth was flat for a really long time. It's been known since the Greek times, which makes sense because a lot of the world was on the the oceans. So it'd be very strange if they were trying to do navigation.
This flat Earth belief is actually the common sense belief is that people believe the Earth is flat, but actually people didn't believe it.
No, it's misinformation.
Okay, so what's the difference between? What's the difference between misinformation? Okay, so we're talking about misinformation. What's the difference between misinformation and common sense?
Common sense, though, does it? People believing that the Earth is flat doesn't reflect on anyone with common sense.
But they totally believe it. So if you were a flat earther, you totally believe it, and you prophesize about it. You are evangelical about it, and you tell people about it. It's you want to let other people know. So it's not. Yeah.
Okay.
It's obviously not.
Where do we want to go with this? Do we want to talk about why people believe these beliefs that we consider to be nonsensical? Do we want to talk about what actually is common sense? Do we want to talk about this idea that you brought up of street smart? Where do we want to go with this? Is kind of up to you.
Brexit.
Come on.
Brexit. Is that a common sense? Is that a common sense idea?
No.
Why is that?
Why? Okay, maybe someone else can answer that. What do people think? Does this whole conversation about misinformation, common sense, does it feed into Brexit?
It's probably the proof of what he was saying, that common sense isn't right 50% of the time, because half the people think Brexit's the right thing, the other half think it's the wrong thing.
Okay.
So they're the common sense, and they all say it's common sense, whether they want it or they don't want it.
Right.
So that's the perfect example of what he was saying, that common sense isn't really.
What is a common sense solution to Brexit? There isn't one. Okay. Right.
It's really bad.
Yeah, but I've profited from Brexit for the last 4 years, having conversations about it, and taking the credit for having the conversation. But it doesn't seem to have got any further, and it seems to have not really. People have not got to a point where they agree with each other. Is there a common sense solution to it, or any solution at all?
4 years ago, people voted and we voted to leave, so therefore we have to do that because that was a democratic decision made by the people of the country that is going to leave.
So you think the common sense way of solving the problem is just doing what we voted for?
Doing what we voted for.
Okay.
The reason that some people voted to leave misinformation. So it was the wrong information that was sent out by parties that used images of refugees leaving a war-torn country, pretending that was people coming over to the UK and the bus and stuff like that. So it was all misinformation.
I think Eric's point is that we should do it anyway, regardless.
No, I get where he's coming from, but the reason that we got to where we are is then misinformation that was spread out.
Okay, is there a way forward for Brexit? Is there a way to solve these problems and get everybody...
You can't just say that it's only the Leave parties that would sending out misinformation. Like, all politicians do it regardless of who they are, what they believe in.
Right, okay, so all parties are producing misinformation.
Well, they'll make propaganda almost.
Okay. All right. So where do we want to go with this? Is there a solution to Brexit? Have you got anything on this side, Hunter?
Everyone's wrong.
Everybody's wrong.
Me, especially me. I'm wrong about everything.
Okay. But I mean, how do we then proceed? That's the question. Because here.
Does it matter?
Does it? I don't know. Maybe.
A new topic.
Okay. What's that?
It's just going to happen. It's happening now, and we just have to deal with the consequences. Like, I know when if I go out of the country on my own with my 2 boys, when I come back, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go through the same gate as them.
Right.
If I'm on my own, they have English passports, I have Irish passport, EU and non-EU, so are they, as small children, going to have to go through a different way? So it's just, we're just going to have to figure it out.
Okay.
That's the thing, it's just going to have to happen.
Just going to have to deal with it. It's kind of happening now. What's that?
It's life.
It's life. Okay. All right. We've got some spare seats here. We've got like people sitting on the back seats. But you can enjoy this. It makes it look more compelling if you sit on the front seats. Come and get involved in this. Get involved. So where do we want to go with this? Do we want to talk about common sense? Do we want to talk about Brexit? Do we want to talk about making a decision and going through with that decision?
All I'm going to say is that soon there's going to be a general election. We're talking about another Prime Minister has happened, so there's going to be a general election soon, regardless of what happens next. I think there will be soon. Yeah. And there'll probably be another party getting because of what the Tories have done with Brexit, and then they might therefore call off Brexit or call on the referendum because it wasn't their government that made that decision.
Okay, so you think that's most likely to happen? There's going to be a general election, and then we might go in a different direction. What do people think on this side? And your new face, what's your name?
Jean.
And we've got Olive, Jessica, what's your name?
Joanna.
And Dylan, and what's your name?
Ginny.
And Stu. And Frank, and
Max.
And we've got Eric, and we've got Darren, and Tom, and Hunter, and I'm Mikey. We've got Ruby, was on camera, where's she gone? She's probably gone for a wee or something like that. But where do we want to go with this? Do we want a new topic? Do we want to carry on talking about Brexit? Yeah.
The views of the country, although might not necessarily be my personal opinion, have to go first because that's what the country voted for.
Okay, so you think we're still on Brexit then, well, you just got to go for what the people voted for. You've got to respect the democratic decision.
Because the country voted.
Grab the mic, Stu.
The country voted to have a referendum, all the rest of it, and they voted to leave, but they had no idea what they were voting for. They had no idea what the deal was, and no one still does have any idea what the deal was. So they were voting absolutely blind. So I think it's only fair to say, well, actually, this is the deal that's on the table. Let's have another vote for that.
Okay, so you think, in a way, they were voting for something a bit abstract. Absolutely. So now it's got to be more specific. Any views on this side? Anything about Brexit? You know about Brexit? No. Olive? No views? Jessica, have you got any views on?
All I know is that I can make a little ration with it. Boring Brexit.
Boring. Has it got boring?
Very boring.
Can you come up with a better subject?
No, not really.
Okay, well, this is the thing about Talkaoke. My job is just simply to move the microphone around. It's not my job to come up with the subjects. What's that over here? Grab the mic.
Global warming.
I still can't hear you. Grab the mic.
Global warming.
What do you want to say about global warming?
I'm just putting it out there as
Okay. Boris Johnson. Let's just have a... Okay, so we've got global warming, we've got Brexit, we've got Boris Johnson. Any other subjects on this side, yeah?
Who invented calculus and who did it better, Newton or Leibniz?
Okay. The Newton or Leibniz controversy, you know, still raging since the 17th century. Any votes for that?
The flat Earth is real.
The flat Earth is real. Where do we want to? It's up to you. I feel we've not really got a consensus here. Maybe we need to go. Where's that?
I'm just saying the calculus.
Once again, come forward.
I'm saying the calculus issue would be a one-man debate. I think I've got nothing to offer.
But have you got a subject to offer for us, or would you support any of the other ones that we've?
Single-use plastic.
What do you want to say about that?
It's good that Deershed's supporting it.
Deershed's really supporting banning single-use plastics.
Yeah.
And we've had the whole straw thing go on.
What's the straw thing?
So it's gone from like everyone can get a straw for everything. So now all the McDonald's and stuff that you get your paper straw and stuff like that. So what's the next thing that's going to be?
Right.
The thing that you ban, or what would be?
Okay.
Is it far enough?
So what should we ban next? Is the next thing? Anyone got anything? What's that? Grab the mic.
The paper straws in McDonald's do have plastic in them. They're not entirely recyclable, so it's all.
I mean, are we going to solve global warming from banning straws? Yeah.
McDonald's. Climate change. Let's have it. It's climate change. It's not global warming. It's climate change.
Okay. All right, but are we going to save climate change by banning straws?
It's going to help.
It's going to. Okay.
It will help.
Right.
The thing about McDonald's straws is that you can't have the milkshake with them, so you end up downing them.
Okay, so McDonald's straws are not that good.
People turn around and they say like, oh, a straw's not going to change something, but it's come into the general knowledge of everyone now about everyone's now thinking about the straw.
Okay.
So it's like, what is the next thing that you're going to do? So it's like, you're not having the straw, so where are you going to go next?
What would you like to see happen next?
Plastic bottles.
Okay, so now I went to Aldi and I've got my sparkling water here. Should this be gone? In which case, how do I get my sparkling water?
Companies can make bottles that are fully biodegradable out of natural materials that aren't plastic.
So we were over in Tenerife a few weeks ago, and they had bottles that were bio bottles that broke down in 6 weeks, I think.
Okay. Okay, what are we talking? Are we talking about plastics? Could we
talk about McDonald's now?
Well, we are kind of talking about McDonald's, and we're sort of talking about should they have disposable packaging, plastic packaging.
You shouldn't really make any factories that make bottles, because it make the air worse.
Okay, so how would you hold some water like this? How would you?
In your hands.
Just hold it in your hands, okay. Okay, so it's plastics. Have you got any views on this? Do you think we should ban straws and disposable bottles? You're not sure? Okay. Yeah.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Well, we're talking about disposable. I mean, we've got all these cans here.
I was going to say, all companies care about is money. And on the face of it, they'll say, we really care about the environment and have all these bans on straws and stuff. But deep down, they don't care as long as they get the money. So until there's actual government laws that are passed to ban straws and things like that, nothing will change.
Okay, so we need laws for the straws.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Why fair trade happened? Is that why fair trade happened?
What do you mean by that? Can you explain it a bit more, Hunter?
You know, the whole idea of because of course cocoa beans are made in more third world countries, they have less labour laws, and there's the whole chocolate slave labour, which is the whole debate in itself about Nestle and stuff, but oh well. But I'm just saying that fair trade as a movement did happen completely without.
So sometimes companies do make the right ethical decision.
Yeah, I'm not saying it was especially effective. I'm just saying it was a.
Okay, so sometimes companies do. Are companies always bad? Or are they always going to go for the most environmentally bad option?
Before plastic, what did they carry water in?
Come closer,
before plastic, what was water carried in?
What was water carried in before plastic? What?
Buckets.
Buckets? I thought it was going to say pockets there.
But we didn't have this whole pseudo middle class, I need my sparkling water every day lifestyle for that.
Okay.
So it was in that's how you got, but I know, but that's how you got. But this is the thing, that's how you got cheese. So it was in a sheep's stomach, and the rennet happened with the milk and stuff like that, and that's where that came from. But it wasn't this whole oh my goodness, I need my macchiato in a plastic cup.
Okay, so we don't actually need all of these things. We don't need straws. We don't need bottles of water. We don't need all of these things.
How you could collect water? You could just get a bucket and then just take it out of something.
Okay, should we all be carrying our water around in a bucket? In a wooden bucket? Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about we should all carry our water around in a bucket. What about beer as well?
Just reuse your plastic, and then it just because because you care about the earth. So even if your one plastic bottle's not going to make a massive difference, shouldn't you do it anyway?
Okay, so just reuse. Do your own little bit. Yeah.
Metal. I mean, there's nothing about metal, but sure that also bad for animals as well.
Okay, is this bad or good? What are you saying about the metal?
Yeah, it's better than plastic. So if we're talking about, you can have Coke cans, which are better than having Coke bottles.
Okay, so we can use cans. We serve cans.
Well, of course. If you're my mum, you'll be looking at how many millimetres you can get for the pound.
Okay.
So economic.
Okay. Okay, so we're talking about we could have metal cans and they're not as bad as the plastic.
They do reusable cans now, don't they? Have you seen
Do
them?
they really?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Wow, I've not seen
No,
that.
it's true, yeah.
Okay.
Metal.
No, they're a can, but the lid, you can put it back.
Really? I've not seen that. Okay, so we're talking about, are we doing enough to solve these problems? Could we be doing more? Is it about going back to leather buckets, or where are we going? You've not said much. What's your name?
Bella.
What's it?
Bella.
Bella, have you got a view on this? Do you think we're doing enough?
Don't really know.
Don't know. Okay, do you think we're doing enough? Not sure. Okay, so this side of the table's not really sure if we're doing enough. Do you think we're doing enough? No? This side?
No, Hunter's holding them together.
Do you think we're doing enough to actually prevent climate change?
Oh no.
No? What could we be doing?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not an actual scientist.
But just throw something in. Throw some. Do we need to know more about climate science?
How about we switch to nuclear power so that we can reduce carbon emissions, and then while we've got 100 years of nuclear power, we'd figure out something better because I can't think of anything right now.
Okay, so you switch to nuclear power. Should we be switching to nuclear power? Should this Talkaoke table be nuclear powered?
The most powerful man in the world, Donald Trump, believes that climate change is a Chinese hoax, then nothing is going to change.
Right, okay. So it's about convincing Donald Trump.
Because he's got all his rallies and all that, and they're powerful in numbers, they're not going to change unless he believes it, and then the whole of America, he won't bring in laws to fight it.
So we're talking about the battle of ideas needs to be won before actually these big steps like nuclear power are actually going to happen.
I don't think we might need to know a little bit more, but that's just extras. For now, we just need to make sure that the people in power know what we know.
Okay. So
and then get them to believe it.
All right. So getting the people in power to believe. We're talking about climate change. Are we doing enough? Are the politicians doing enough?
Doing enough.
Yeah.
We're obviously not doing enough because now we're in this state.
But what could we personally do, like you and me, Tom?
Use recycle stuff more.
Okay. All right.
Don't litter.
I'm going to go around the table because I think everyone agrees that climate change is a thing. So what could we do?
Well.
Yeah.
I'm fully signed up to it. Yes, I
don't know if show. Everyone agree that climate change is a thing?
Yes.
Okay. There's a point over here.
I was just going back to the single-use plastics. What's wrong with tap water?
Okay.
Why? I mean, shouldn't we be looking at trying to improve the quality? Well, most people's water they buy isn't fizzy.
Okay.
So if they improve the quality of tap water, so that people drank it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I grew up drinking tap water, and then suddenly, everyone suddenly started drinking bottled water, and that, although people have become more healthy because they're drinking more water because of that.
Yeah.
That it's at the expense of the planet. So.
Okay, so should we just be drinking water out of the tap using our hands? Yeah.
I think that. I think that climate change, as in the world getting hotter, has just been another phase in the world's existence. There's been 2 ice ages that have lasted millions of years. It's been another step in the world's evolution, but we've just sped it up by quite a lot amount of time.
Okay, so what are you saying, Eric?
I'm saying that it would have happened anyway, but on a much longer scale of time.
Okay.
We've sped it up to within a few decades.
So we've sort of sped up the world's time?
Essentially.
Okay. Is there anything we can do about that? Could we slow it down?
I've not faced it before, ever. Never seen Susan pull that face before. It's just
Are you off, Darren? Give us a final thought before you go.
Let's go to the loop.
Okay. Yeah.
Strange, because if the world is evolving, strange how it's always evolving against us, like the Ice Age and now global warming.
So you're saying the world is always evolving against us?
Yeah, because, well, we're just speeding it up. Either it's evolving or we're causing it, but it's always something bad, isn't it? Like the Ice Age.
Yeah. We can adapt to that. We can adapt to that. If we're talking about woolly mammoths, before they were just mammoths, but then the Ice Age happened and then they became woolly mammoths.
Right, so we could become like... What adaptations could we make to deal with climate change?
We're talking about cats, and that's on a very basic level, but they have fur coats that keep them warm.
So should we be adapting more to climate change just like the mammoth? And how can we adapt? Yeah?
I don't really know. How did the mammoths adapt? No one knows. They just let it happen, didn't they?
Okay. But what Eric's saying is that this is happening a bit faster than that happened for the mammoths. And any ideas on this side how we can adapt like the mammoth? The mammoth got more woolly, but we can't get really less woolly, can we? We've kind of lost our woolliness already. Yeah.
We become cold-blooded. So that then if it gets really, really hot, that just helps us.
We'll be chilled, yeah. Okay, what about if humans evolved to become cold-blooded? Would that work as an evolutionary adaptation?
You can just go to a warm place in the world, then if your bug gets too hot, you can just go back and then do all it, and then keep on doing it.
Say that again?
So you could go to a hot place, but then if you get really warm blood, just go back and keep on doing it.
Yeah. Okay, so you can sort of like be a bit like a lizard, go in and out of the heat. Could we adapt, and how can we adapt? Become cold-blooded is one answer.
Try and stop climate change.
Yeah. How?
Well, I said stop littering and recycle stuff.
Okay, recycling more will stop climate change. Okay, so there's 2 prongs here. There's one is stopping climate change. The other one is adapting by becoming cold-blooded. Yeah.
Like stopping climate change. The electric cars are helping.
Yeah.
But if we have less cars, by using electric buses, that helps even more because we're using less cars, and the public transport that we're using is also healthy for the environment.
Okay, so a bit more public transport. Any other ideas?
Climate change is being formed by all the fumes that we're putting in the air.
Yeah.
So like, if we use less stuff like that, like electric cars, like he said, stuff like that, it'd be brilliant because it'd just stop it altogether.
Okay,
stop these fumes.
What would happen if everyone started driving electric cars? What would actually happen?
That's what I attribute to it, but there's other fumes as well as that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so driving electric cars. Yeah.
Electric cars aren't cars and things that are like that you can drive in aren't really good, because if you walk, it's very healthy for you. 2,
right.
it gets stuff in the air that will make that might make people be like sick.
Okay, so electric cars already put
I don't know if you've read I haven't read it, but there's a theory on the Earth repairing itself.
The Earth repairs itself. Okay. So, I mean, how will it repair itself in this case?
I haven't read it, so I don't know how plausible.
Okay. What does anyone else think? Will the Earth repair itself? Oh yeah.
It's not the first time, is it, that we've had changes in the environment?
Okay.
We've had ice ages. How do we know that this wouldn't happen anyway? I'm not saying that I believe that, but
So
I'm just throwing it out
the
there.
Earth will cool down anyway.
No, I'm just asking the question, really. How do
Will the Earth repair?
like, what did you say?
Hang on, let me just go to Olive.
I think we should I don't know how to say it, but increase the prices of petrol-powered cars, so then not as many people buy them.
Okay. Where's the price of petrol-powered cars? Okay. All right.
The problem is, if we want people to buy electric cars, it's that all the oil and petrol companies lobby around the politicians.
Right.
And that just stops people from trying to use electric cars because they just go for those stupid little petrol oil ones.
Okay, so in a way, the politicians are kind of owned by
the politicians are almost like the tools of the
car companies.
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, not the car companies.
The petrol companies.
The petrol and oil companies.
Right. Okay. Okay. So okay, yeah.
You could not use so much air conditioning because the air conditioning just it uses up most of your petrol from the car.
Okay, so stop using air conditioning. But isn't the world getting hotter? Don't we need more air conditioning? Yeah.
I think I've got another idea on how the world could repair itself. It could start trying to speed up the growth of its own trees to develop more clean oxygen.
Okay, so all right, I'm getting a bit blinded by science now anyway, so it might be time to just to take a break from this session, but I need a final thought from everyone. I've got a point here.
I mean, I'm agreeing with Olive here because if we increase the price of cars, then less people would buy them, and that would be less use of petrol, and then more people would walk.
Okay, so walking in a way is the answer. Could you walk to Deershed Festival?
Probably not, because I live very far in Manchester.
Okay. So how do you deal with that problem? Okay, anyway, it's maybe time to get final thoughts on this session. It's been a very entertaining session. We started with the power of positive thinking, and I think it's been quite a positive session, so that's kind of worked.
What about teleportation?
Teleportation? Well, maybe this could be a subject for the next session. Area 51, suddenly we're getting all sorts of ideas. Teleportation, Area 51.
I think the one thing that we have to say is our education is working, because these kids are actually, I've been blown away. No, I have been blown away by the things that the kids are coming out with. It's absolutely wonderful. It's really, really lovely. Yeah.
Okay, so some good ideas coming through. A round of applause for the kids and adults, for that matter, because it's not just, everyone's come up with some good ideas. It's not just the kids. Okay, so let's have some final thoughts. Final thought.
Well, so global warming is mostly based on what humanity's doing. So really, humanity, we can't change back anymore. We've gone too far. What we could do is stop at where we are and just leave it there instead of trying to get further back.
Okay, so we can't really go backwards. We can only just stop it.
Yeah, because that could end up provoking the people who are making money out of global warming, like I said before, oil and petrol. It just might get them to lobby around the politicians more, and it will just keep going in an endless cycle. Go back, companies lobby, everything goes forward further.
So in a way, we've just got to stop or slow down. We're getting final thoughts now. This has been Talkaoke. Have you got final thought?
Oh, sorry, no.
No? Final thought?
You could get to Deershed Festival without a car. You could just get a train. And when I was speaking about air conditioning, you don't need air conditioning because you just open a window, or you can use a fan.
Okay, so there are the solutions there. Just get a train next time to Deershed Festival. Final thought, Bello? Have you heard anything good in this conversation?
A bit.
What was the best thought that someone come up with? I'll come back to you on that one, but let's get some other final thoughts. Final thought?
I think there's a need to try and change people's. The only way to solve all of the sort of pollution is to reduce people's need for stuff.
Okay, so it's about wanting
people
all this
just want
stuff.
instant stuff all the time.
Right.
And that's the main issue.
Why do people want stuff all the time?
Well, it's how society's developed and advertising and capitalism and what have you. There's all sorts of reasons, but people just want. They see it, they want it, and that's
Can we
the problem.
actually stop it? I mean, that's what Ben was saying. Can we go and try and stop? Can we stop wanting stuff? Final thought? Have you got a final thought, Olive?
I think it's impossible to stop wanting stuff because when you see stuff in shops, you just think, oh, I want that, and then you'll earn money and then you'll probably buy it.
So it's not very easy to stop wanting stuff. Final thought on this side? Have you got a final thought for this session?
Is the quantum realm universe possible, and does time move faster there?
No.
Okay, well that's more of a one for the next.
No, it doesn't.
Session in about 15-20 minutes. But have you got a final thought for this session?
Final thought for this session. Boris Johnson needs to be decapitated.
I've got a second.
Say that again?
Boris Johnson needs to be decapitated.
Okay, we're back to killing politicians. Final thought?
Linear algebra's fun, go and learn about it.
Okay, so go and find out about stuff in a way as a message. You can't ever know too much. Yeah?
2. 1, we need to get answers out of Area 51. And 2, Earth doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Okay, this is all very good stuff that we can talk about in the next session. Final thought?
And me saying, oh, I want that from the shop. Some people say, oh, I need that because if you don't have food for more than a week, then you just die.
But is that what most shopping is about?
Getting food, because
it's mainly stuff, isn't it?
It's mainly food, though.
Okay, so buying stuff is mainly food. Okay, it's all food for thought that we can mix into the next session. Thanks everyone for taking part in Talkaoke. I'm glad there's some psychologists around the table because I might need their services later on. But anyway, this has been Talkaoke. Thanks very much.